Hi, welcome. In this session, we are going to discuss about construction of an ellipse by the oblong method, also called as rectangle method. So here we are having the problem statement. The major and minor axis of an ellipse measure 100 mm and 70 mm respectively. Draw an ellipse by the rectangle method. So, according to the given problem statement, we have to construct an ellipse by the rectangle method, whereas the major and minor axis of an ellipse are given in the statement. So, let's begin for its construction. So, the step first is nothing but we have to construct one rectangle which is of 100 by 70 mm. So 100 mm is actually its best dimension, which is to be of actually the major axis, and 70 mm is what the height of the rectangle, and that is nothing but the further minor axis of our ellipse. So we just prepare one rectangular box over here which is of 100 of its base, and the box carries the height of 70 mm, and we just do naming for that rectangular box as A, B, C, D. Okay, that is what our step number 1. Now in the next step, what we have to do, we have to mark the major axis and the minor axis in the given rectangular box. So for the sake of that, we simply take the mid of the line AB to be named as F, and the mid of line DC, the AB and that DC, they are of actually 100 mm, so its mid come at 50 mm. So we just do mark the point over there on that line AB and DC respectively, and the name for that respective points are E and F. So E and F, we just do further connect them, and that forms to be our minor axis of an ellipse. Similarly, we are further going to divide the line AD exactly at its mid and do mark that point as point G, and further on the line BC is get divided exactly at its mid and name that point as H, and just do connect the point G and H by means of the center line, and that forms to our major axis which is of 100 mm. So this is what the second step. After having the rectangular box with us, we have to mark or we have to draw the major axis and the minor axis with the given dimension, and they are of 100 mm and 70 mm respectively, and they are further going to be a perpendicular bisector of each other at point O. Okay, that is what the step number second. Move to the next step. In the next step, what we have to do, we have to divide the distance GD. So here you have the distance GD with you, or the line GD with you. It is of actually 35 mm, because the overall height of the rectangle is of 70 mm, and as we divide that the distance GD, that the AD into two equal parts, so ultimately GD is of 35 mm, and now we have to divide that distance 35 mm into 5 equal parts. So ultimately one part becomes is of 7 mm. So here you can see I just mark the point 1, 2, 3 and 4, and the fifth one it is already there on the point D itself. So that step number 3 is what we have to divide the line GD into 5 equal parts, and we have to further name that points as 1, 2, 3 and 4. So that is what our step number 3. Okay, now move to the step number 4, in which what we have to do, we have to further divide the distance GO into again 5 equal parts. So right now GO measures to be 50 mm, so that the distance 50 mm, we have to divide it into 5 equal parts. So ultimately one part is of 10 mm. So we just do mark the point 1, 2, 3 and 4 at every 10 mm distance. So that is what the dividation of line GO into 5 equal parts, and that is what actually the step number 4, in which we divide the line GO into 5 equal parts and name that point as 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. Move to the step number 5. Now, in step number 5, we have to draw the lines which actually joins the point 1 with E, 2 again with E, 3 with E, and again the point number 4 is with point E. So the every point number 1, 2, 3, and 4, we do join all these points with the common point, that is the point E, and that becomes our step number 5. Do remember. Okay, move to the step number 6 uh, over here, and that is nothing but we have to draw a line which is passing through the point F, and that will further join with point 1, and the same line is extended further till the line 1E. So here you are having the line 1E, so we just do extend the line passing through the point F1, and as it cut the line 1E, that intersection point will be named as P1. So here we get the very first point of an ellipse, that is nothing but point P1. Now the same process you have to repeat for next 3 points. They are the point number 2, 3, and 4 to obtain the point P2, P3, and P4. So here you can see I just draw a line from point F that will pass through the point 2, and it will extend it further till the line 2E, and that intersection gives us the point P2. Similarly, the further line from the point F is passed through the point number 3. Similarly, the line passing from the point F is to be drawn with further pass through the point 3, and that will intersect with the line 3E, and that gives us the point P3, and similarly we obtain the point P4. Now here we obtain the point P1, P2, P3, and P4 with the step number 6 and 7. Now the next task is nothing but we have to connect all these points, we have to join all these points. So we just do join the point G, P1, P2, P3, P4, and E by using a smooth curve, and that becomes our required 1/4 part of an ellipse. So here you can see this is what the 1/4 part of your rectangle, and in which we form an ellipse. So the same thing, the same procedure, starting from the step number 3 to the step number 8, that you have to follow over here to complete the remaining 3/4 part of our ellipse. So we just go for that. So here you can see the line CH is divided into 5 equal parts. The distance OH is again divided into 5 equal parts, and we just follow the same procedure, and we obtain the point P1, P2, P3, P4 again, and we do connect all of them by a smooth curve, and thus we obtain the second fourth portion of the respective ellipse, and the same procedure is follow for the remaining part of an ellipse. And here you can see we can form a we form, or we constructed an ellipse by the rectangle method. So it is actually a complete solution for the given problem statement, in which you can see over here this is actually the GH, which is what the major axis, and it measures to be 100 mm, and this is what actually the EF, which is your minor axis, measures to be 70 mm, and they are of an ellipse, and this is what the ellipse that we constructed by the rectangle method. So it's a complete solution. Thank you.